While teachers look down on Chanma, he chooses the most difficult secret realm and begins speedrunning it. After shocking everyone at the school, he is already about to face the Lobster King. Chanma's flame attack strikes Bartan directly in the face, exploding on impact and dealing 632 damage. This attack triggers Bartan's assault mode, as he only targets players who attack him or approach too close. Back at the college, the teachers burst into laughter, pointing out that by attacking Bartan, Chanma has walked straight into a trap. They recall how teacher Luo Yong, who holds the highest record in this realm, failed countless times at this section until, using his wits, he swam underwater to avoid Bartan's aggro. The teachers speculate that even if Chanma defeats Bartan, the commotion will attract countless piranhas, making it impossible for him to survive. Meanwhile, inside the realm, Bartan charges toward Chanma, raising his massive claws to snap at him with a fierce strike. Chanma performs a swift slide tackle to dodge Bartan's claw, edges closer, and delivers a powerful kick that sends Bartan flying into the air. Bartan crashes into the lake with a loud splash, landing a few feet away from where Chanma stands. Wasting no time, Chanma lunges onto Bartan's back and grabs hold tightly, preparing for his next move. Bartan laughs mockingly, calling Chanma foolish for fighting him in the water, claiming this domain gives him the upper hand. Equipping his boxing gloves, Chanma dares Bartan to dive, then punches him on the back before Bartan can react, inflicting massive damage. The fresh wound on Bartan attracts nearby piranhas, which swarm toward him in large, aggressive waves. The piranhas begin biting into Bartan, causing him to growl in pain and writhe violently in the water in an attempt to escape. Chanma grabs a chunk of meat from Bartan's wound and scatters it into the water to ensure the piranhas remain aggressive and relentless. Realizing his predicament, Bartan growls in desperation and declares he will dive deep into the water to take Chanma down with him. As Bartan plunges into the water, Chanma switches to his grappling hook and fires it at the ceiling for a quick escape. Chanma swings to safety, landing on the shore just as Bartan succumbs to the relentless piranha attack. Victorious, Chanma presses forward, sprinting through a massive, cave-like opening that leads out of the marsh. Back at the college, Kang Yang is shocked, wondering how a mere high school student could figure out such a strategy. His astonishment grows as a teacher points to the labyrinth map, noting that Chanma is taking a flawless path, as if he has already cleared the realm before. Kang Yang reminds the teachers that Black Fathom Deep has always been under their control, so Chanma couldn't have known about it. Kang Yang, worried, admits his college might face ruin at the hands of a single high school student. The students, watching Chanma's progress in their classrooms, are amazed at the speed and precision with which he navigates the labyrinth. Meanwhile, Chanma reaches the final obstacle, opening a door to reveal a room with a large cauldron in the center and 4 braziers surrounding it. He knows that lighting the braziers will summon black swamp serpents, and after defeating them, the final boss will appear. He summons a staff, raises it high to ignite flames at its tip, and hurls it at the pillars, setting the braziers ablaze in a roaring fire. The students back at the college are stunned by Chanma's boldness in lighting all the braziers simultaneously, summoning all the monsters at once. Even the teachers are taken aback, certain that Chanma's reckless move will lead to his failure this time. Kang Yang watches intently, eager to see if Chanma is a true genius or simply an overconfident fool. As the braziers burn, massive level 18 black swamp serpents emerge, surrounding Chanma with their eyes fixed on him. Chanma drops to his knees and uses the Soul Bender skill, releasing shockwaves that decrease the serpent's magic resistance for 30 seconds. While Chanma is performing the skill, the serpents slither toward him, closing the distance rapidly. As they lunge to attack, Chanma leaps high into the air, evading their deadly strikes with incredible agility. While airborne, Chanma pulls out a gun and fires napalm bullets, drenching the serpents in a slimy, corrosive green liquid. A teacher watching realizes Chanma's plan and is left speechless by the audacity of his technique. He watches as Chanma lands on the ground a short distance away as the serpents. Raising his staff, Chanma aims directly at the mound of serpents and activates the meteorite skill. A massive meteor crashes into the serpents, creating an explosion that fills the chamber with smoke and fire. The teachers observe in awe as Chanma's use of Soul Bender, Spitfire, and Elementalist skills demonstrates the untapped potential of the Vagrant class. Kang Yang reluctantly admits that Chanma's split-second decision-making and sheer talent make him a force to be reckoned with. Suddenly, the flames in the braziers turn bright blue, and from the cauldron, Akumai, the level 20 Hydra elite boss, emerges with its 3 heads. Smiling confidently, Chanma greets Akumai and challenges it to a test of strength. Akumai unleashes its corrosive blast, spraying venom from all 3 mouths directly at Chanma. Chanma glides effortlessly to evade the venom, deflecting the incoming attacks with his sword. Charging forward, Chanma swings his sword with precision, precision, severing Akumai's left head in a single strike. He quickly switches to a dagger using the weapon switch skill and activates the assassin's pre-skill, backstab. Jumping onto Akumai's right head, Chanma plunges the dagger deep, dealing massive damage and finishing it off. Within milliseconds, he uses the hook lock skill, firing a grappling hook at Akumai's remaining head to pull himself closer. Equipping his longsword midair, Chanma activates the sword draw skill, delivering a lightning-fast strike that severs the final head cleanly. With Akumai defeated, Chanma lands gracefully on the ground, setting a new record by clearing the Black Fathom Deep Realm in just 1 hour and 56 minutes. Chanma levels up to 18, gaining increases in his strength, agility, and physique stats, bringing his overall combat power to an impressive 13,000. Along with his level up, he receives a basic material chest and promptly instructs the system to open it. The chest rewards him with 3 items: the Hydra's Tooth, the Sea Turtle's Heavy Shell, and a Void Tentacle. Meanwhile, at Manhwa College, the students erupt into chaos and disbelief upon realizing that Chanma has cleared the realm in under 2 hours. The teachers gather at the secret realm entrance, anxiously awaiting Chanma's emergence. All of them were expressions of defeat, knowing full well that ownership rights to the Black Fathom Deeps will now be transferred to Chanma. As Chanma steps out of the portal, he directly addresses Kang Yang, reminding him to honor his promise. Kang Yang reassures Chanma, promising that Manhwa College will uphold their word and deliver the materials he requested within a week. With the matter settled, Chanma provocatively asks Kang Yang if he's willing to wager on the remaining 3 secret realms. Hearing this, the teachers panic and urgently warn Kang Yang against accepting Chanma's challenge, fearing the loss of their 3 secret realms. However, Kang Yang silences them with a sharp rebuke, reminding them that the law mandates no one can refuse a secret realm contest. Turning to Chanma, Kang Yang boldly declares he will wager again, doubling the materials if Chanma conquers the remaining 3 secret realms. This time, however, Kang Yang adds a stipulation that Manhwa College must merge with Jiangcheng College if Chanma succeeds. The next day, news of the 2 colleges merging spreads quickly, making the headlines and marking Chanma's triumph over the remaining 3 realms. Xing Chongyu, the principal of Tianyi College, reads the headline and remarks that Kang Yang wisely merged the colleges to secure Manhwa's survival. At that moment, someone bursts into Xing Chongyu's office, sounding panicked as they report that Chanma has arrived at their college. Principal Chongyu calmly tells teacher Wang to compose himself, leaving Wang wondering if the principal had anticipated Chanma's arrival. Rising from his seat, Chongyu gazes out the window and laughs, admitting that Chanma is formidable and likely planning a secret realm contest challenge. With a sinister grin, he notes that Chanma will only succeed if he can even make it to the secret realm hall. Meanwhile, outside Tianyi College, Chanma is stopped at the entrance by a man. The man identifies himself as Yushi, a level 22 teacher, and boldly challenges Chanma to a duel. Chanma smirks and asks Yushi if his intention is to prevent him from entering the college grounds. Observing the scene, 2 older teachers predict that Chanma is doomed, convinced he stands no chance against a trained teacher like Yushi. In the college's meeting room, Principal Chongyu instructs his staff to thoroughly analyze Chanma's weaknesses. Outside, Yushi starts channeling lightning into his right leg while warning Chanma not to blame him for what's about to happen. He lunges forward with incredible speed, raising his electrified knee and aiming directly for Chanma's face. Reacting swiftly, Chanma equips his gloves, raises his hand, and blocks Yushi's attack, pushing him back with enough force to send him flying. Before Yushi can regain his footing, Chanma leaps toward him and delivers a devastating knee strike to his gut. Chanma lands gracefully a few feet away while Yushi crashes hard onto the concrete ground. The impact is so powerful that Yushi loses consciousness, utterly defeated. Standing at the foot of the stairs leading into the college, Chanma notices another individual approaching him from the gates. From their vantage point, some students watch from the windows, pointing out their teacher Yushi, who has just been taken down. Seeing another teacher step forward, Chanma accuses Tianyi College of going to absurd lengths to stop him from challenging their secret realm. The approaching teacher clenches his fists and declares that they will continue to confront Chanma one by one until he is defeated. With a resolute expression, Chanma states that if they wish to drag this out, he will end it swiftly. Before the teacher can make his move, Chanma activates his tidal charm equipment, unleashing a soul shock attack. The shockwave paralyzes the teacher, leaving him frozen in place and trembling uncontrollably. Chanma then withdraws his Gatling gun, takes aim, and fires at the immobilized teacher. As the teacher collapses to the ground unconscious, the staff watching from the meeting room react with shock and alarm. Turning toward a nearby surveillance camera, Chanma mockingly dares the other teachers to face him. Suddenly, the surveillance feed goes haywire, losing connection to the exterior cameras. Enraged, the teachers clench their fists and complain to Principal Chongyu about Chanma's arrogance and mocking them. Moments later, the principal and several teachers step outside, determined to confront Chanma as a group. Their eyes burn with anger, and their intent for revenge is clear as they lock gazes with Chanma. Chanma smirks confidently and taunts them, telling them to come at him. A level 27 berserker charges forward, bypassing the teachers and aiming directly for Chanma. However, before he can reach Chanma, the berserker is hit by a hail of bullets and falls to the ground, unable to react in time. Resting the Gatling gun on his shoulder, Chanma taunts them again, asking who's next. This time, 3 high-level teachers charge at him simultaneously, weapons drawn and ready for battle. In just a minute, Chanma has defeated almost all the teachers, leaving only the principal and 2 others standing. The principal appears visibly shaken, having witnessed how effortlessly Chanma defeated his colleagues. As he contemplates his next move, he feels an intense gaze on him, as though someone behind Chanma is watching him closely. Sweating profusely, the principal realizes that any sudden action could result in his immediate defeat. Reluctantly, he forces a smile, steps aside, and instructs Chanma to follow him to the secret realm's entrance. A few days later, headlines across major newspapers buzz with the news. Chanma has conquered the secret realms of 20 colleges, forcing them to merge with Jiangcheng College, making it one of the top 3 in the country. Jiang City College. Inside Jiang City College's conference room, the teachers have gathered to discuss the sudden and remarkable rise of their college's ranking and strength. This unprecedented progress is unanimously attributed to Chanma's contributions and unparalleled strength, which made everything possible. The principals of the other colleges that merged with Jiangcheng College, including Kan Yang, are also present at the meeting. Yen Min announces that Chanma will be honored as president of the college, and the room erupts in applause as the teachers unanimously approve. With no objections raised, Yen Min declares that a ceremony to bestow the title will be held as soon as Chanma returns. However, Yen Min himself is unaware of Chanma's whereabouts, as he mysteriously vanished without informing anyone. Meanwhile, on an island within the Apocalypse continent, Chanma is occupied with battling and farming monsters, having already reached level 20. His passive skills, including Gatling gun, wide sweep, ripple slash, weapon switching, and critical strike, have all advanced to level 3. Taking a momentary break, Chanma checks the system's display of his passive skill improvements and feels a sense of pride in his progress. Reflecting on his recent conquest of the top 20 schools, Chanma realizes he has gathered all the materials needed to forge the weapon he's been aiming for. Later, he visits a blacksmith shop and asks to learn forging, to which the blacksmith replies it will cost a significant sum of gold. Hearing the price of 50 to 100 gold coins, Chanma questions if it's not too high, as the standard fee is only 20 gold coins. Pausing from his hammering, the blacksmith nonchalantly explains that the pricing has changed recently. Chanma withdraws a rolled parchment, remarking he'll leave, muttering that it's unfortunate the blacksmith won't see his exceptional weapon blueprint. Hearing about the blueprint, the blacksmith quickly turns and yells for Chanma to stop, making Chanma grin, knowing his ploy worked. Rushing toward Chanma, the blacksmith eagerly inquires about the blueprint and asks if he can take a look at it. As the blacksmith tries to grab the blueprint, Chanma swings it out of his reach, stating that he wants to negotiate the forging fee first. Taking the blueprint in hand, the blacksmith points to a book on the shelf and instructs Chanma to read it to begin his forging lessons. Chanma picks up the book, unlocking the basics of forging, and learns he needs 10,000 points of experience to advance to intermediate forging. Examining the blueprint, the blacksmith collapses in shock, calling its creator a genius and admitting he can't fully comprehend it. Grabbing the blueprint, Chanma declares that he'll take it to someone else since the blacksmith seems incapable of understanding it. Desperate, the blacksmith clasps his hands and pleads with Chanma, claiming he understands the blueprint and begging to craft the weapon for free. Chanma points out that he only has enough materials for one piece, warning that failure would ruin everything. To test the blacksmith's skills, Chanma decides to hand him 4 additional blueprints for other items to craft. craft. After 2 hours, the blacksmith successfully forges the 4 items and presents them to Chanma. Examining the items closely, Chanma is impressed by their flawless craftsmanship. Equipping all 4 items, Chanma immediately feels their immense power and acknowledges the blacksmith's exceptional skill. His combat power, which was previously 13,000, increases to 16,000, a significant boost of 3,000 after equipping the items. The blacksmith asks for feedback on his work, and Chanma, smiling, declares that the blacksmith has passed the test. Later, Huang Tian, a level 20 player from Lanfeng College, enters the blacksmith shop looking for the blacksmith but finds it empty. Just as he is about to leave, he hears voices coming from the living room next door. Curious, he peeks through the curtains and sees Chanma lecturing the blacksmith on the art of forging. Surprised to witness someone reprimanding the blacksmith, Huang Tian hesitates, puzzled by the situation. Waving his hand, he calls out to the blacksmith to get his attention. Chanma, slightly startled, turns to face Huang Tian, a wide smile suddenly spreading across his face. The eerie smile unnerves Huang Tian, making him suspect that Chanma might have ulterior motives. However, Chanma's joy stems from recognizing Huang Tian as one of his teammates from his past life. Back then, Huang Tian, known as the #1 Sword Soul God, was a level 98 player and a close friend of Chanma both in the game and in real life. The blacksmith, noticing Huang Tian, tells him to return another day to pick up his weapon as he is currently busy. Chanma suggests that the blacksmith should forge Huang Tian's weapon immediately to further prove his forging skills. Frustrated by Chanma's constant demands, the blacksmith protests but ultimately agrees, recognizing that Chanma is no ordinary player. Reluctantly, the blacksmith begins forging Huang Tian's weapon, putting in his best effort despite his irritation. 2 hours later, Huang Tian examines his new weapon and is delighted, exclaiming that it is perfect. Swinging the sword around to test it, Huang Tian notes that its DPS is excellent and its speed is remarkable. Grateful for the weapon, Huang Tian becomes wary of Chanma's intentions, still suspecting ulterior motives. Chanma declares that the blacksmith has passed yet another test and proposes they begin forging the ultimate weapon. Working through the night, they finish the flowing light 1,000-bladed umbrella at 2 a.m., its golden glow illuminating the shop. Astonished by the sight, the blacksmith marvels at the weapon's brilliance, amazed that it emits such dazzling golden light upon completion. The flowing light 1,000-bladed umbrella is majestic, gleaming like gold, and can transform into 4 forms: a one-handed sword, Gatling gun, spear, and staff. Chanma grabs the weapon, raises it high, and marvels at its base damage being 25% higher than in his previous life. He mutters a command, causing the umbrella to transform into its gun form, and a sniper-like gun materializes in his hand. The blacksmith and Huang Tian are impressed by the transformation, with Huang Tian recognizing the weapon as the legendary silver weapon. Chanma raises the gun above his head and orders it to change into spear form, and a second later, a large spear appears in his hands. The system congratulates Chanma for binding his soul to the weapon, ensuring it remains linked to him, unusable by others, and reveals it will unlock abilities if used to defeat a boss above level 25. The Razor Wetlands, a mid-ranked secret realm, is crowded with various players, all of them looking for parties to join. Chanma also arrives at the Razor Wetlands, ready to take on the challenges that await him. Before entering the realm, he decides to configure the remaining 2 transformation slots he has left and summons the system. He first transforms the Void Sphere skill, gaining a passive ability that has a 15% chance to shoot a black void sphere at enemies when casting magic. Next, he transforms the Dazzle Mark skill, a skill that leaves marks on enemies for 30 seconds that increase their damage taken from dark magic by 10%. The Dazzle Mark skill successfully transforms into its passive form, allowing Chanma to generate a dazzle mark on enemies for 2 minutes when he hits them with his spear. Chanma specifically chose the Dazzle Mark skill because it increases the damage of dark element magic spells, enhancing his overall combat potential. Smiling, he realizes that by transforming all elemental dazzle marks into passive skills, he can generate 5 distinct marks with a single swing of his spear. Suddenly, he overhears nearby players talking about him and turns to see a party of 3 mocking him for being a vagrant and unable to join a team. At the same time, those same players spot Huang Tian and immediately start praising him, marveling at how cool and legendary he is. Huang Tian walks over to Chanma and suggests that they should enter the secret realm together. together. As they move toward the portal, the other players stand in shock, stunned that Qianma actually knows Huang Tian, the renowned legend. The Razor Wetlands secret realm lies within the thorny jungle of the Novice region, known for its difficulty, with the level 40 mid-rank Razor Highlands nearby. According to legends, the creation of these two secret realms is tied to Najakumu, an ancient half-god and an immortal giant wild boar. During a great war among gods, Najakumu fought for the righteous faction, defeating the Burning Legion before being slain by the Abyss leader, his blood nourishing countless creatures in the thorny jungle. Over time, a group of Quillboars gained intelligence from Najakumu's divine blood and became his followers, dedicating themselves to protecting the thorny jungle for generations. Upon entering the Razor Wetlands, Qianma and Huang Tian find themselves facing two separate paths leading further. Qianma suggests a competition, proposing that they each take one of the paths and see who can defeat the boss and return first. Huang Tian looks at Qianma with slight disbelief and asks if he is certain about this plan, reminding him that he is just a level 20 vagrant. Smirking confidently, Qianma challenges Huang Tian by asking if he is scared to compete against him. Realizing that Qianma is insistent, Huang Tian reluctantly agrees, but warns him not to blame him if he runs into trouble. For Qianma's safety, Huang Tian decides to choose the left path, which contains more monsters. However, before he can take a step forward, Qianma unexpectedly dashes toward the left path despite Huang Tian shouting at him to stop. Watching Qianma rush into the left path, Huang Tian wonders whether Qianma is a highly skilled player or simply an overconfident fool. A few minutes later, Huang Tian encounters four boarmen blocking his path, each wielding massive swords and looking ready for battle. Without hesitation, Huang Tian draws his weapon and charges at the boarmen, delivering a single powerful swing that sends all of them flying through the air. Leaping high into the air, Huang Tian ignites his sword and swiftly strikes the boarmen, finishing them off before they land. As the boarmen crash to the ground with a resounding thud, Huang Tian continues moving forward. Meanwhile, on the left path, Qianma finds himself face to face with what seems like a small army of wild boar soldiers standing in his way. With eyes sparkling with determination, he withdraws the thousand-bladed umbrella, eager to test its true power in real combat. Transforming the umbrella into its gun form, he raises it to his shoulder, takes precise aim at the group of boars, and prepares to attack. Pulling the trigger, Qianma unleashes a relentless barrage of bullets that rain down upon the boar soldiers, dealing immense damage to each of them. In less than a minute, Qianma successfully defeats every single one of the wild boar soldiers, leaving none standing. Smiling with satisfaction, Qianma notes the gun form of the umbrella uses over 50 bullets per round, with an average damage of 170 per shot, considering it a fair trade-off. Huang Tian encounters more wild boars along the way, easily cutting them down, and watches as the final one crashes to the ground. With a confident smile, he proudly declares he reached this part in just 27 minutes, assuming Qianma must still be struggling. In fact, he firmly believes Qianma has already been defeated and respawned at the graveyard. He returns to the fork in the road where he and Qianma had separated and is surprised to find Qianma already back and waiting for him. Seeing the smug expression on Qianma's face, Huang Tian assumes he must have run back after failing and assures him it's okay. Turning away, Huang Tian confidently heads toward the left path, declaring that he will clear it for Qianma. As Huang Tian walks further along the left path, he notices a complete absence of monsters, which makes him increasingly suspicious. Eventually, he stumbles upon a massive pile of elite boar corpses stacked neatly on the ground. Continuing down the path, he discovers not just one pile but 7 separate piles of defeated elite boars scattered ahead. By this point, he is completely taken aback and begins to seriously wonder if Qianma might be far stronger than he had assumed. Reaching the end of the path, he arrives at the location where the level 27 elite boar should be but finds no sign of its body. At that moment, Qianma approaches from behind and tells Huang Tian to look up toward the sky. Tilting his head upwards, Huang Tian is stunned to see the elite boss entangled lifelessly among the sharp vines above. Witnessing this, Huang Tian is struck by disbelief, struggling to comprehend that Qianma managed to solo the level 27 boss. Finally accepting the truth, he acknowledges that Qianma is far stronger than he had given him credit for. Out of curiosity, he asks Qianma how he accomplished such a feat, and Qianma casually explains that it was very easy for him. After a detailed explanation, Qianma watches as Huang Tian writes down every technique he mentions in a notebook for future reference. With that, Qianma turns away and suggests they continue facing the challenges that lie ahead. Moments later, they encounter dozens of boar men blocking their path, and Huang Tian steps forward to engage them. While Huang Tian is preoccupied fighting the boars in front of him, another boar sneaks up from behind with its weapon raised to attack. Just as the boar is about to strike, a bullet flies through the air, hitting the boar and dealing maximum damage. Qianma stands a short distance away, his gun aimed, having just made the shot with precise timing. He calls out to Huang Tian, pointing out that his reaction time was off by 0.2 seconds. Suddenly, two more boars charge at Huang Tian from the front, attempting to overwhelm him. With a swift swing of his sword, Huang Tian slices through both boars, sending their bodies flying. However, another boar appears behind him, taking advantage of his lowered guard to launch a surprise attack. The boar's weapon inches dangerously close to Huang Tian's face, making him clench his teeth in fear. Although Huang Tian avoids a direct hit, the weapon's impact creates a shockwave that sends him flying, crashing onto the ground with a loud thud. Huang Tian lands right beside Qianma, groaning in pain. Standing over him with a smirk, Qianma mocks Huang Tian, sarcastically asking why he is performing so poorly. Still lying on the ground, Huang Tian admits he isn't as strong as Qianma and can't fight the Overlord and his minions alone. Qianma critiques Huang Tian's earlier performance, pointing out that he even failed to dodge basic attacks from the Overlord. He explains that as a warrior, Huang Tian's instincts often cause him to overlook minor threats around him while blindly focusing on attacking. Qianma elaborates further, stating that true timing is about precision rather than speed, and that sometimes waiting before striking can provide an advantage. Towering over Huang Tian, Qianma emphasizes that understanding this principle is key to utilizing everything he has taught him. Huang Tian repeats Qianma's words aloud, trying to grasp the concepts fully. Acknowledging Huang Tian's effort, Qianma admits that he shows some potential, which brings a wide smile of appreciation to Huang Tian's face. Qianma then asks Huang Tian if he dreams of becoming the Tianqi continent's #1 soul sword god. Assuring Huang Tian that this goal is achievable if he follows his lead, Qianma extends a hand to help him up. Grasping Qianma's hand, Huang Tian rises to his feet with a smile and declares that he believes in Qianma. Clutching his sword with renewed determination, Huang Tian charges forward, shouting confidently that he will never give up. As he approaches, the Overlord and his minions prepare to face him, with the Overlord blocking Huang's sword strike using his massive axe. The Overlord raises his axe high, preparing to strike down on Huang Tian, unintentionally leaving an opening. Remembering Qianma's advice, Huang Tian waits an additional 0.2 seconds before making his next move. As the Overlord and his minions attack, Huang Tian spins swiftly, dodging their strikes with perfect timing. Taking advantage of the opening, he counterattacks, dashing past the three and delivering precise strikes with his sword. Having successfully performed this new move, Huang Tian feels exhilarated and more confident in his abilities. Watching Huang Tian's improved technique and his ability to handle three boars alone, Qianma appears pleased. Once their task is complete, the two turn to leave, with Huang Tian following closely and praising Qianma's teaching and skills. After some time, they encounter Karlgar, the great shaman of the boar tribe, blocking their path. Qianma instructs Huang Tian to focus on interrupting Karlgar's non-damaging skills and leave the damage dealing to him. As he speaks, Qianma launches a fireball at Karlgar, which explodes upon impact and draws aggro toward himself. Transforming his weapon into a battle spear, Qianma charges at Karlgar, declaring that defeating him will strengthen his weapon further. Acknowledging Karlgar's extraordinary healing ability, Qianma realizes that ranged attacks won't suffice and charges at him, thrusting his spear to deal damage. Shadow dazzle marks appear on Karlgar's body at the spots where the spear struck. Moving to the next phase of his strategy, Qianma summons 4 void spears, preparing to send them at Karlgar. Enraged by the spear attacks, Karlgar roars furiously and begins channeling his healing ability. Spotting Karlgar distracted by the healing process, Qianma instructs Huang to launch an attack. Following the command, Huang charges at Karlgar with his flaming sword raised high and swings it forcefully. Huang's attack successfully interrupts Karlgar's healing, causing Huang to laugh triumphantly. However, Karlgar quickly resumes his healing spell, regenerating 1,500 health points instantly. Shocked by this, Huang protests about the unfairness of Karlgar's ability while Qianma calmly tells him to stay focused. Qianma repeats his earlier tactic, thrusting his spear into Karlgar's body at 4 spots, imprinting shadow dazzle marks that lower Karlgar's stats. As Karlgar resumes healing, Qianma leaps backward, making way for Huang to leap into the air and prepare another attack. Huang lunges downward, using his ghost slash skill to swing his sword at Karlgar, interrupting the healing process once again. Karlgar, undeterred, immediately restarts his healing spell and continues to recover his health. Determined, Huang executes an X-shaped slash with his flaming sword, aiming directly at Karlgar to disrupt the spell yet again. Qianma, with 8 void spheres hovering above his hand, praises Huang's efforts pause and readies his next attack. With precision, Chanma fires the void spheres directly at Karlgar. A violent explosion shakes the battlefield as the void spheres strike Karlgar, shattering the ground beneath him. Feeling his impending defeat, Karlgar lets out a thunderous roar. Chanma manipulates one of the void spheres, making it spin and strike Karlgar once more. The sphere lands a powerful blow, dealing 1071 damage and sending Karlgar crashing to the ground. Watching Karlgar sprawled helplessly, Hwang looks astonished and exclaims at the sheer power of Chanma's attacks. Turning to Chanma, Hwang remarks that with such strength, the vagrant profession is bound to gain countless followers in the future. Reflecting briefly, Chanma wonders if he might reunite with his old comrades and once again dominate the Tianchi continent as he did in his previous life. An hour later, the duo arrives at a cliff overlooking a vast forest, where Hwang spots a tent in the middle of a large clearing. A thorny passageway leading to the tent marks the final challenge, housing 100 elite boarmen. Hwang notes that they have spent only 2 hours so far, suggesting they can break the record if they defeat the remaining boarmen quickly. Placing a hand on Hwang's shoulder, Chanma asks if he's ready for an exhilarating challenge. Without warning, Chanma kicks Hwang off the cliff, sending him plummeting towards the camp below. Inside the tent, a boarman is guarding a captured leaf-like goblin nearby. Crashing through the tent, Hwang lands directly on the boarman, eliminating him instantly. Groaning from the impact, Hwang massages his back as the bound creature asks if he has come to rescue her. Grabbing the goblin by its leaf-like head, Hwang dashes out of the tent, dragging it along. Spotting Hwang escaping, the boarmen roar and charge after him, weapons raised. Suddenly, an enormous ice wall rises, cutting off the boarmen and forcing them to halt. Chanma swings down using a grappling hook, instructing Hwang to keep the goblin safe while he handles the boarmen. Watching Chanma swing like a spider, Hwang questions his sanity for taking on 100 elite boarmen alone. Clicking his tongue, Hwang unexpectedly turns and runs toward the boarmen instead of retreating to safety. Meanwhile, Chanma lands firmly on the ground, smirking as the horde of boarmen rushes toward him. Observing their approach, Chanma comments on how perfectly they've lined up for his plan. Switching his weapon to machine gun mode, Chanma charges up a powerful cannon fire. He fires the cannon and uses the recoil to propel himself backward, gliding through the air to land on the other side of the field. Catching up, Hwang questions how they're supposed to escape now. Switching his weapon to a staff, Chanma instructs Hwang to watch carefully, and he summons a massive void sphere with his staff, unleashing it upon the charging boarmen. The void sphere engulfs a large section of the horde, dealing continuous area of effect damage. Hwang, observing the void sphere, speculates it might be Chanma's trump card, but worries about its 4-second duration and long cooldown. With a wave of his hand, Chanma summons 4 magic bullets, taking down several boarmen as Hwang yells for stronger attacks. Chanma reassures Hwang as the void sphere's passive ability activates, generating 2 additional massive spheres. The new void spheres crash into the horde, decimating dozens of boarmen and scattering more. Bewildered by the sudden appearance of the spheres, Hwang stands in awe. Chanma explains that while the void sphere skill has a long cooldown, its passive ability negates mana costs, allowing him to cast it multiple times. Turning to Hwang, Chanma tells him to stick with him, promising more miracles as the system congratulates them for setting a new record and clearing the realm. Outside the Razor Wetlands entrance, the leaderboard updates to display Chanma and Hwang's record for the fastest clear at the top. Inside the Razor Wetlands, the system congratulates Chanma for awakening the Thousand-Bladed Umbrella after defeating the level 29 boss, Karlgar. Since the secret realm was ranked SS, Chanma also receives a diamond treasure chest, and upon opening it, he acquires the rare Phantom Cloak item. Hwang exclaims in surprise after receiving a rare level 35 shoulder guard item from his golden chest. Seeing Chanma's newly acquired item, Hwang points out that its exclusivity could fetch up to 50 million blue star coins at auction. The goblin thanks Chanma and Hwang for rescuing it, explaining it uncovered a secret link between the boarmen and the undead scourge before being captured. It reveals that it recorded everything in a secret letter, which it buried in a hidden location, and provides them with the coordinates. With another round of thanks, the goblin urges them to complete the mission, teleports away, and leaves behind a roll of parchment. Kneeling down, Chanma picks up the parchment and studies it, while Hwang wonders aloud if they've just received one of the legendary hidden quests. After reading the parchment, Chanma concludes the mission is in the Razor Highlands, inaccessible at their current levels, and suggests revisiting after their second awakening. Smashing his fist into his palm with excitement, Hwang grins and agrees to focus on leveling up quickly. As Hwang turns to leave, Chanma stops him and claims to know the perfect place to speed up their leveling. The two travel deep into the woods and arrive at a large cliff, where Hwang slices through the rock face to reveal reveal a hidden cave behind it. Peering into the hidden area, Huang is stunned to recognize it as an altar, a place where awakeners can secretly learn skills from other classes. Qianma explains that he obtained a hidden quest earlier, which included a map leading them to this exact location. Impressed by Qianma's knowledge, Huang jokingly extends his arms and offers to kiss him. Feeling annoyed, Qianma shoves Huang away and tells him to stop acting like a drama queen and to focus on activating the altar. Approaching the altar, Huang places both hands on it, causing it to activate and release a burst of green energy that engulfs him. After a few seconds, the altar grants Huang a new skill called Rage Burst. Huang enthusiastically tells Qianma he learned the Berserker class skill Rage Burst, which is like adding wings to a tiger for a sword soul like him. Jumping down from the altar, Huang encourages Qianma to try it next and see what skill he receives. Knowing that altars only grant first advancement skills, Qianma wonders what he will gain as he places one hand on the altar. A few seconds later, Qianma's eyes widen as the system informs him that, as a spellbinder, he has already mastered all first advancement skills, allowing him to choose a second advancement skill from any class. Carefully examining his options, Qianma selects the Berserker class skill Quantum Explosion, a powerful ranged ability. The system congratulates Qianma for learning Quantum Explosion, a level 1 skill that launches a light attribute Quantum Blast, dealing area damage within a 10-meter radius. Qianma thinks to himself that this new skill will perfectly cover his lack of long-range damage, ensuring his firepower now has no blind spots. The next day, Qianma visits the blacksmith, prompting the blacksmith to ask what he needs. Qianma explains that he wants to borrow the anvil and furnace for a few days to reach intermediate level forging before his entrance exam. Learning that Qianma is preparing for an entrance exam, the blacksmith is stunned to realize he's just a third-year academy student. However, he refuses to lend Qianma the tools, pointing out that only 4 days remain until the exam. The blacksmith insists that forging shouldn't hold Qianma back, as advancing to an intermediate blacksmith requires 10,000 experience points. Unfazed, Qianma reassures the blacksmith and tosses a pile of red stones onto the table. Recognizing the stones as Nijakumo's bloodstones, the blacksmith stares in utter disbelief at the mound before him. Qianma reveals that he collected the bloodstones by exploiting a special combo to trigger a bug, which is why he used the Void Sphere during the final challenge. Picking up one of the bloodstones, the blacksmith remarks that even a single stone can triple forging experience. Without wasting time, Qianma begins forging through the night, and his first crafted item turns out to be a perfect success. The blacksmith, astonished by Qianma's talent, notes that his material loss is minimal and asks if Qianma could teach him the secret. After 3 days of relentless effort, Qianma successfully reaches intermediate forging, gaining the ability to craft rare items. The blacksmith, overwhelmed by the high-quality materials Qianma created, collapses in shock at Qianma's sheer skill. He begins to cry, lamenting that Qianma achieved a 92% success rate on his first forging attempt, leaving him feeling inadequate. Before departing, Qianma offers to leave the crafted items behind for the blacksmith to sell as he pleases. Qianma arrives at the entrance to the exam venue and notices Yanmin waiting for him at the gate. Following Yanmin inside, Qianma asks what all the commotion is about, and Yanmin reassures him that he will find out soon enough. Yanmin explains that the entrance exam will be held at Hanwu City and is expected to host around 400,000 students this year. He further elaborates that this year's exam dungeon is called Nomorigin, a level 20 dungeon with 4 bosses, where students need to defeat at least 2 to pass. Yanmin also reminds Qianma that, due to his significant contributions to Jiang City Academy, there's a special surprise awaiting him. Pushing open a large door, Yanmin leads Qianma onto a stage facing an audience of teachers and students gathered in the auditorium. Yanmin addresses the crowd and announces that he has a significant declaration to make before the official commencement of the entrance exam. He declares that after discussions, senior officials have unanimously decided to award Qianma the honorary title of President of Jiang City Academy. Taken aback, Qianma questions how someone like him, still a third-year student, could be bestowed such a title. The teachers quickly reassure Qianma, stating that his numerous contributions and unparalleled skills have made him more than deserving. Qianma sighs, then firmly places his hand over his chest and vows to uphold Jiang City Academy's honor as long as they continue to support him. Yanmin reveals that the admission spot Qianma gave up was awarded to Jingjing. Blushing slightly, Jingjing nervously asks Qianma which of the top 10 colleges he is planning to apply to. Li Hong drapes an arm around Chanma and teasingly remarks that Jingjing must be asking so she can attend the same college as him. Chanma grabs Li Hong by the ear and asks if he finished studying the entrance exam manual, to which Li Hong swears he has done so thoroughly. Just as Chanma is about to answer Jingjing's question, his phone rings, prompting him to step aside and answer the call. The caller introduces himself as Wu Zhonglei, a member of the Standing Committee of Tianhai City's Management Association, and requests a meeting with Chanma. The bustling exam venue is located in Hanwu City, the capital of Hebei Province. On the bus ride to the venue, Li Hong casually asks Chanma why he didn't pursue Jingjing, given her outstanding qualities. Lost in thought, Chanma reflects on the strange events surrounding the Dinghong incident and its connection to Zhong Hongshan, Moling University's vice president. He also recalls Wu Zhonglei's mention of someone secretly protecting him and concludes it must be the old man he encountered while fishing. Upon arriving at the parking lot, the academy buses discover a lack of available spaces, forcing them to take over spots designated for Hanwu-affiliated academy. Guolian, president of the Hanwu City Management Association, and Han Yefeng, director of Hanwu-affiliated academy, confront Jiang City Academy over parking. Kang Yang and Yen Min meet the confrontational stares of Guolian and Han Yefeng, unwilling to back down. Suddenly, Wu Zhonglei arrives, bypassing Guolian entirely, and instead approaches Yen Min to ask directly for Chanma's whereabouts. Seeing an influential figure like Wu Zhonglei specifically request a student from Jiang City Academy leaves Guolian and Han Yefeng stunned. After a brief pause, Chanma steps forward and faces Wu Zhonglei directly, meeting his gaze with curiosity and confidence. Wu Zhonglei presents Chanma with a small ornate box, stating that it is an apology from Moling University, and asks him to accept it. Yen Min and the others are left speechless, wondering what Chanma could have done to warrant an apology from such a prestigious university. Accepting the gift, Chanma tells Wu Zhonglei to convey his thanks to Vice President Zhong. With a knowing smirk, Wu Zhonglei acknowledges Chanma's sharp wit and agrees to deliver his message accordingly. Yen Min remains visibly stunned, marveling at how Wu Zhonglei seems so familiar and comfortable while conversing with Chanma. At the exam monitoring center, officials are seated and ready as they display the top 100 potential rankings for spectators to see. Upon noticing that the top 300 rankings are dominated by Hanwu-affiliated academy, Guolian smirks smugly and mocks Yen Min with pride. Despite Ma Xiao being ranked second, Guolian's satisfaction diminishes when he sees Chanma ranked first, prompting him to angrily slam his fist on the table. The room buzzes with murmurs, as others question how a mere level 20 student like Chanma could be ranked first. Growing nervous, Guolian begins to suspect that Chanma might be the hidden trump card Yen Min had been relying on all along. Inside the exam venue, all candidates prepare themselves as the countdown to the start of the exam begins. The exam officially commences, and students are teleported in groups to the exam dungeon. Chanma equips the phantom cloak and steels himself for the primary dungeon baptism to gain an advantage. In this world, refreshing dungeon projections grants baptism buffs, but for the lowest level primary baptism, only one buff can be saved. However, since Chanma has refreshed all the primary buffs in Jiang City, he has several options available to him. After careful consideration, Chanma selects the basic amplification baptism, which permanently increases all his attributes by 5 points and boosts attack and movement speed by 5%. Morowigan, once the City of Miracles, is now a desolate, radiation-contaminated land filled with mutated monsters and malfunctioning machines. This area, home to monsters of levels 18 to 24, serves as the exam location, and Chanma is teleported to the entrance of Morowigan's underground. Chanma knows that reaching the end of the ring-shaped steps will lead him to the number 1 boss, but first, he must defeat the mutated rats blocking his way. While Chanma concentrates on what's ahead, 2 mutated rats ambush from behind, snarling and showing their razor-sharp teeth. Opening his umbrella weapon, Chanma knocks the rats away, equips his appearance hiding gear, and jumps into the opening below. Using the umbrella as a makeshift glider, Chanma lands smoothly at the bottom of the massive underground structure. The moment he lands, his presence triggers a hidden mechanism, and a gooey, slimy dark substance begins to materialize before him. Recognizing the viscous fallout boss as it fully forms, Chanma smiles confidently, knowing he has fought this creature before. Switching his umbrella into gun form, Chanma readies himself to take down the first boss. With the gun aimed at the boss, he fires multiple shots in quick succession, bombarding it with relentless firepower. In less than 5 seconds, he defeats the first of the 4 bosses, accomplishing the task effortlessly. Meanwhile, back in the Invigilator's hall, the teachers and investigators watch the ongoing examination on multiple screens. A long-haired teacher notes that most students should have cleared a quarter of the ring-shaped steps by now. However, noticing that Chanma has already defeated the first boss, boss. The teacher points to the screen in disbelief, questioning if what he sees is real. The other spectators quickly focus on Chanma's screen and are equally amazed by his outstanding performance so early in the exam. Their attention remains fixed on Chanma as he skillfully prepares to face dozens of robots stationed ahead. One teacher explains that these explosive robots have powerful AoE attacks, making them tough to handle in large numbers. Yefeng from Manhwa Academy smirks, dismissing Chanma's feats and calling him a reckless, ordinary man. Back in the exam, Chanma uses his grappling hook to glide above the explosive bots as they begin to detonate one after another below him. Spectators watch in awe, marveling at Chanma's incredible agility and precision in navigating such a dangerous situation. Someone in the Invigilators Hall notes with surprise that Chanma is now nearing the end of the passageway and will soon face the second boss. Yen Min, who has been silent, wonders how Chanma will tackle the formidable second boss. Swinging out of the passageway, Chanma leads the dozen explosive bots straight into the next chamber. His entrance activates a sensor, which immediately awakens the second boss, a massive robotic spider that switches to offense mode. With a determined expression, Chanma leaps high into the air, landing directly on top of the spider boss's head and unleashing his electrocution skill. At the same time, the explosive bots below begin firing their projectiles upward, aiming straight at Chanma's position. Acting quickly, Chanma switches his weapon into a magic staff, then leaps off the spider boss just as the explosives rain down upon him. Landing behind the explosive bots, Chanma activates his Iron Mountain Bash skill, sending the bots hurtling toward the spider boss. A massive explosion erupts as the explosive bots collide with the spider boss, creating a fiery spectacle that shakes the entire chamber. As shattered machinery scatters, Chanma walks away unscathed, heading confidently toward the third boss. Back in the Invigilators Hall, the teachers and spectators are astounded by Chanma's flawless techniques and ingenuity. Guilian abruptly stands, demanding that the main screen be changed to Chanma's first-person view. The other teachers murmur in agreement, voicing frustration over the limited visibility on Chanma's small monitor. Yefeng looks furious, upset that a student from another academy is stealing the spotlight he believes belongs to his college. Clenching his fists, he silently hopes Chanma will make a mistake now that all eyes are focused on him. Meanwhile, Chanma arrives at the third boss, a level 22 mechanical robot boasting a formidable 5,000 HP. Recognizing the boss, Chanma recalls that in previous exams, defeating it was a guaranteed ticket to the top 10 universities. The boss, nicknamed the Gatekeeper of Top Universities, is infamous for its overpowered debuff skill, the Aging Halo. Unbothered, Chanma switches his weapon to a spear and charges head-on, ready to dismantle the boss with brute force. With a single, powerful thrust, Chanma strikes the core of the boss, delivering a devastating blow that causes significant damage. Following up with seamless precision, Chanma executes a slide tackle, maneuvering beneath the boss's legs to position himself strategically. Once behind the boss, Chanma grabs hold of its massive frame and prepares to execute an audacious suplex move. The teachers observing are dumbfounded, finding it almost comical that Chanma would even attempt to suplex a robot. Laughter breaks out among the spectators as they jeer at Chanma's seemingly absurd move, mocking his unrealistic ambition. However, their laughter quickly dies down when they realize Chanma is unaffected by the boss's Aging Halo debuff, leaving them stunned. Guilian is horrified as he realizes Chanma has cleverly exploited the 0.1 second invincibility frame of the suplex to bypass the debilitating debuff. Some skills have an invincibility frame, a frame, during activation, allowing skilled players to become immune to damage and abnormal statuses, despite the short duration. A teacher notes that most awakened professions have such skills and wonders if that's why Chanma chose to become a vagrant. Back in the exam, Chanma swings at the boss, using Arching Smash, his hand glowing as it releases an energy attack. The energy attack soars through the air and strikes the boss, momentarily distracting it and giving Chanma an opportunity to act. Wasting no time, Chanma thrusts his spear forward and strikes the boss 4 more times, inflicting dazzle marks on its body. The boss retreats, keeping distance from Chanma, as 4 more void spheres appear around him, bringing the total to 8. Just as the Aging Halo's 5-second cooldown ends, Chanma seizes the opportunity and transforms his weapon into a long sword. The teachers in the surveillance hall are stunned that Chanma, at level 20, already possesses the unique silver grade gear. Observing that Chanma remains unaffected by the Aging Halo, though they are are left in even greater shock and disbelief. An old man remarks on Chanma's extraordinary feat, and Yen Min agrees, noting this is why his potential is ranked SSS. By now, Chanma has completed the preparations for his final attack, confidently declaring that he will finish the boss. Without any delay, he sends all 8 void spheres hurtling toward the boss, which bombard it continuously and deal massive amounts of damage. Chanma stands tall and unshaken, exuding the aura of a true boss, as he watches the third boss collapse and get defeated. The teachers in the surveillance hall are stunned, struggling to believe that it has only been 24 minutes and Chanma has already defeated 3 bosses. Wu Zhonglei comments that Chanma is carving a new path, and his vagrant profession may soon surpass all others. The reason why McMoney became the final boss of Morrowigan isn't just because it is level 24 or because of its high damage and defense. The challenge is that once the battle starts, the 6 passages will continuously spawn all the monsters from this transcript. To defeat McMoney, the challenger must face the boss and an endless stream of mobs, where a moment's carelessness can lead to being overwhelmed. In the history of these exams, no one has ever managed to clear this final boss. And now, Chanma stands face to face with it, ready to set a new record. Lifting his staff high, he begins chanting summoning spells, and within seconds, an entire army of diverse monsters materializes around him. After completing the summon, Chanma starts chanting again, this time creating layers of defensive barriers to fortify his position. The teachers realize Chanma plans to use his summon army to block the mob passages, focusing solely on the boss. With all preparations complete, Chanma switches his weapon into a Gatling gun and readies himself to face the final boss. Locking onto Chanma, the boss launches a barrage of heavy explosives directly at him. Unfazed by the attacks, Chanma's eyes blaze with determination as he raises his gun and fires at the boss. In a spectacular display, the final boss succumbs to the relentless assault and crashes to the ground with a resounding bang, defeated. At that very moment, Ma Xiao, who is ranked 2nd in potential, defeats the number 2 boss and feels proud, assuming that other students are still stuck on the first boss. But right then the system announces that Chanma defeated all 4 bosses and cleared the exam in 30 minutes, setting a new record. Overwhelmed by shock, Ma Xiao falls to his knees, shouting in disbelief as he struggles to comprehend how this could be possible. Li Ganyu, a student ranked 6th in potential, is equally stunned as he reads the global announcement about Chanma's achievement. Meanwhile, Jingjing is still engaged in a fierce battle against the explosive bots, unaware of Chanma's incredible accomplishment. Upon hearing the announcement that Chanma cleared the exam, she smiles warmly, feeling genuinely happy for him. Chanma's friend, Li Hong, is overjoyed when he learns about Chanma's success in clearing the exam. A group of girls in the spectator stands start cheering loudly for Chanma, feeling impressed and enamored by his skill and charisma. A teacher whispers to Han Yufeng, telling him that several students from their college were eliminated due to Chanma's exceptional performance. Enraged by the situation, Yufeng slams his fist onto the table and curses under his breath, unable to contain his frustration. Wu Zhonglei begins clapping, expressing his admiration, and remarks that their country Xia is fortunate to have someone like Chanma among them. With a sly smile, Guolian remarks that Jiang City College taught Hanwu Subsidiary College a strong lesson through Chanma's victory. Yen Min observes with satisfaction, noting that sometimes a single trump card can expose the weaknesses hidden behind the facade of thousands of others. Back at the battlefield, the system congratulates Chanma for clearing the exam and rewards him with a diamond chest and 182,000 experience points. Curious about the reward, Chanma presses the open button on the screen and eagerly waits to see what the chest contains. To his delight, Jie receives an S-rank skill book, a rare and valuable treasure that is incredibly difficult to obtain. Since Chanma's spellbinder profession restricts him from learning most skills in college, this reward is precisely what he needs to enhance his abilities. Noting his high agility stats, Chanma realizes that the attack speed boost from the skill book will perfectly complement his fighting style. After using the skill book, Chanma feels his attack speed increase, with the system confirming a 15% boost, bringing it to 32.8%. Clenching his fists in excitement, Chanma remarks that with his improved attack speed, he is now stronger than most level 30 players. Turning to the defeated boss, Chanma quickly withdraws a radiation solution and pours it over the boss's face to claim the Baldwin mask. Moments later, the Baldwin mask emerges emerges, a unique item that allows the user to transform into the appearance of the dwarf race with a cooldown of 12 hours. Back at the stadium, a massive screen lights up, displaying a congratulatory message for Chanma securing first place. Chanma gets teleported out of the exam dungeon and reappears at the center of the stadium. Teachers and spectators notice Chanma's arrival, rushing toward him with applause and enthusiastic congratulations for his remarkable achievement. Among the crowd, a group of teachers approaches Chanma, emphasizing that the future of country Xia rests in his hands, and that he has the power to protect its people. Chanma quickly realizes the teachers are pressuring him to become a patriotic figure for defense if demonic beasts attack the city. Smiling confidently, he addresses the crowd, inviting anyone who believes he should fight for the country to step forward. The group of teachers who made those remarks earlier steps forward, questioning why Chanma singled them out. Chanma responds by declaring that he has chosen these teachers to fight alongside him when the time comes for the country's defense. He then challenges the teachers, asking if they are prepared to sacrifice themselves on the battlefield just as they expect him to do. Realizing they have been outmaneuvered, the teachers hastily backtrack, claiming their earlier statements were made in jest. Chanma dismisses their excuses, accusing them of hypocrisy for urging a student like him to fight while shirking their own responsibilities as adults. He further presses them, demanding to know if their earlier statements were driven by any ulterior motives. The crowd, now aware of the teachers' intentions, grows furious and begins shouting at them in outrage. At that moment, Guolian and Wu Zhonglei arrive, with Guolian announcing that the implicated teachers will be permanently banned from teaching. The disgraced teachers fall to their knees, pleading with Guolian to forgive their mistakes. Wu Zhonglei shakes Chanma's hand, praising him for his exceptional talent and the maturity he displayed in handling the situation. Turning to Guolian, Wu Zhonglei requests a private room so he can speak with Chanma alone. A few minutes later, Wu Zhonglei and Chanma convene in a conference room, taking their seats for a discussion. Sipping his drink, Wu Zhonglei asks Chanma if he knows anyone in the upper echelons of the management association. Chanma immediately thinks of the old man he met while fishing and explains to Wu Zhonglei that he knows nothing about the man's identity. Upon hearing the mention of fishing, Wu Zhonglei's expression changes as if a sudden realization dawns on him. Chanma places a ring on the table, explaining that it was a gift from the old man he met. The sight of the ring causes Wu Zhonglei to leap to his feet in shock, accidentally spilling his drink in his haste. Wu Zhonglei explains that the ring belongs to Elder Qin, the only fourth awakening battle mage in country Xia. He elaborates that while Elder Qin possesses immense power, he is known for being reclusive and rarely forming connections with others. Wu Zhonglei expresses relief, believing that Chanma's relationship with Elder Qin bodes well for his future prospects. Sitting down again, Wu Zhonglei mentions that he cannot disclose much about Elder Qin due to strict confidentiality. He advises Chanma to wear the ring at all times, as it could prove invaluable in the future. That afternoon, the news of Chanma breaking the entrance exam record spreads nationwide, even being broadcast on an official news channel. Outside Jiangcheng College's entrance, heavy traffic builds up, with dozens of vehicles overcrowding the parking lot. Students standing near the gate notice the scene and attribute it to country Xia's University Recruitment Day. As representatives from top universities have arrived, they are surprised to see representatives from 16 of the top 30 universities. Realizing this unprecedented turnout must be due to Chanma's achievements. In the conference room, Yen Min presents the university representatives with detailed information about the students who passed the entrance exam. Among the profiles, Chanma's information stands out, shocking the representatives with his astonishing battle power of 20,000. Chang Yuesheng from Moling University is not surprised, as he had personally witnessed Chanma's capabilities before. Even if he cannot recruit Chanma, Yuesheng resolves to mend past grievances and establish a good relationship with him. Meanwhile, Wang Keifu from Lantian University grins widely, determined to do whatever it takes to recruit Chanma. 30 minutes later, the representatives complete their voting process, selecting the students they wish to recruit. Yen Min informs them that interviews will begin in 5 minutes and that they can proceed with students they voted for. He also reveals that all 16 universities have chosen to interview Chanma, suggesting a collective interview to save time. The representatives are displeased, voicing complaints about the lack of individual interviews for someone as talented as Chanma. Chang Yuesheng agrees with the collective interview, stating that rules can be adjusted for a genius of Chanma's caliber. The representative from Lantian University also agrees, prompting the remaining universities to reluctantly follow suit. An hour later, Zhang Lei reports to Yen Min that 28 students from Jiangcheng College have successfully passed their individual interviews. Handing over the report, Zhang Lei mentions that Jingjing has been recruited by Beijing University. Yen Min is astonished by the number of successful students and wonders how they suddenly became so exceptional. Finally, it is time for Chanma's collective interview, where he will face representatives from all 16 universities simultaneously. Chanma steps into a large hall, finding himself at the center of attention with the 16 university representatives seated before him. Yuesheng introduces himself to Chanma, acknowledging their misunderstanding and hoping Chanma holds no grudges. Chanma immediately recognizes that Yuesheng is likely sent by Zhong Hongshan to mend their previous enmity. Wang Keifu from Blue Sky University stands up and claims that a friend of Chanma's personally recommended his university for Chanma. Chanma confidently deduces that the friend Wang Keifu is referring to must be Huang Tian. A heated commotion erupts among the representatives, with many criticizing Wang Keifu for attempting to use personal connections to sway Chanma. Spotting a representative from Oracle University, Chanma feels surprised that such a prestigious institution appears to be in dire straits. A representative seated at the center clears his throat loudly, signaling the need to halt the arguments and officially commence the interview. Representing Clear North University, he asks Chanma why he chose the vagrant profession over other lucrative options. Chanma responds confidently, stating that he aspires to become a monarch, leaving the representatives to view him as overly ambitious. Renheng from Ice Show University challenges Chanma, questioning how he plans to achieve monarch status with the vagrant profession's limited advancement potential. Yuesheng agrees with Renheng's skepticism, as it is widely believed that the vagrant class becomes practically ineffective at higher levels. Chanma sharply counters by questioning who decided the vagrant profession is weak and dares anyone to challenge him to test his strength. Amused by Chanma's boldness, Renheng abruptly stands and, with a grin, comments on how audacious youngsters have become these days. He then proposes a duel, promising to stop criticizing the vagrant profession if Chanma defeats him. With both parties in agreement, the representative from Clear North University declares the duel's rule: whoever lands the first hit wins. Renheng steps forward to the center, positioning himself a few feet away from Chanma with a determined stance. Summoning sharp ice shards around him, Renheng warns Chanma not to accuse him of bullying if he is badly beaten. The other representatives remark that Renheng would become a laughingstock if he were to lose to a student. Renheng thrusts his hand forward, sending a barrage of ice spears flying straight toward Chanma. Remaining calm, Chanma summons his firearm, shooting down each incoming spear with precision before unleashing a volley of bullets at Renheng. Unable to dodge, Renheng is struck directly by the bullets and crashes to the ground in defeat. Turning his attention to the other representatives, Chanma boldly asks if anyone else wishes to question his abilities. The representatives are left in stunned silence, their jaws dropping as they process Chanma's effortless victory over Renheng. Yuesheng clenches his teeth in frustration, disappointed that Chanma wasn't humbled by the duel. Wang Keifu, on the other hand, is both intimidated and deeply impressed by Chanma's incredible skill. Having witnessed Chanma's strength firsthand, the representatives eagerly begin offering extravagant benefits to entice him to join their universities. The representative from Blue Sky University boldly offers Chanma access to their skill book library with A-rank authority if he joins their institution. The other representatives accuse Blue Sky University's representative of being shameless for attempting to bribe Chanma with material rewards. Noticing that Lao Chen from Oracle University has yet to make an offer, the other representatives urge him to present his proposal. Nervously, Lao Chen states that Oracle University would grant Chanma access to all their secret realms and even provide him with a rare ability fruit. The representatives immediately question how Oracle University expects any student to survive their notoriously dangerous secret realms. However, Chanma becomes particularly intrigued by the mention of the secret realms offered by Oracle University. Addressing the representatives, Chanma acknowledges their enthusiasm and dedication to recruiting him. The room grows tense as the representatives hold their breath, anticipating Chanma's decision on which university he will choose. Lao Chen appears resigned, convinced that Chanma will overlook Oracle University due to their lackluster offerings. To everyone's astonishment, Chanma announces his decision to join Oracle University, leaving Lao Chen visibly shaken. The following day, Chanma visits the blacksmith and informs him about his decision, only to receive criticism for acting impulsively. Reassuring the blacksmith, Chanma explains that he has his own reasons for making that choice and inquires about the equipment he left for sale. The blacksmith proudly reports that all 46 items have been sold, yielding a total profit of 920 gold. Handing Chanma a pouch filled with gold, the blacksmith asks about his plans moving forward. Chanma replies that his next destination is Thunder City, where he has something important to accomplish. The blacksmith notes that Thunder City is near the novice village and requires a 3-day journey to reach. Before Chanma departs, the blacksmith hands him a golden token, explaining that it can be used to take the exam to become a high-ranked forger. Taking the token, Chanma wonders wonders if the blacksmith has any personal connections to it, as he seemed hesitant when handing it over. Checking his inventory, Chanma notes he now has 933 gold left after secretly leaving 120 gold for the blacksmith. Spotting the black card from Zhong Hongshan in his possession, Chanma decides to visit the auction house before proceeding further. After defeating a massive lion-like monster, Chanma skillfully uses his skinning technique, causing the beast's body to float mid-air. Before leaving the novice village, Chanma used all his resources to learn secondary professions like herbalism, alchemy, mining, and skinning, reaching 90% proficiency after 8 days of farming. Upon completing the skinning process successfully, Chanma obtains the lion's hide, an essential material for future use. Suddenly, a loud growl reverberates nearby, prompting Chanma to turn toward the source of the sound. Recognizing the growl, Chanma identifies it as Moskies, a level 27 monster known for its toughness and ability to drop level 40 epic items. Determined to take down the beast, Chanma follows the noise, hoping for a significant reward. However, upon reaching the location, he hears human voices and realizes Moskies is already being hunted by others. Peeking from behind the bushes, Chanma spots Ling Ruashi, a level 24 melee mage, struggling against the monster and looking utterly exhausted. Giving up the fight, Ruashi turns to flee, but Moskies relentlessly chases after her. In desperation, Ruashi points her staff at the beast and casts ice shards, striking multiple points on its body. The ice shards effectively freeze parts of Moskies' body, significantly slowing its movements. Seizing the opportunity, Ruashi unleashes her meteor assault skill, dealing a powerful blow to the monster. Observing her from the sidelines, Chanma notes that, despite being level 24, Ruashi's attack speed surpasses his own. Infuriated, Moskies stomps its legs onto the ground with immense force, creating cracks that spread outward. Raising its massive arm, Moskies prepares to crush Ruashi with a devastating swing. Realizing she cannot dodge in time, Ruashi closes her eyes, resigning herself to her fate. Just as Moskies' attack is about to connect, Chanma intervenes, blocking the blow and leaving Ruashi startled. Taking the offensive, Chanma targets Moskies' weak points, striking with precision and ferocity. Leaping into the air, Chanma unleashes void spheres that bombard Moskies, reducing the once mighty monster to rubble, much to Ruashi's disbelief. Breaking into a smile, Ruashi praises Chanma, clearly awestruck by his overwhelming strength. For defeating Moskies, Chanma is rewarded with the Consonance Staff, a rare item that boosts spell damage and healing. Examining the staff, Chanma recalls its rarity from his previous life and decides to sell it later for a high price since he cannot use it himself. Ruashi, still astonished, asks how Chanma could be so powerful despite being only level 22. Tears streaming down her face, she admits she thought she was doomed and expresses her relief at being saved. Stowing the staff in his inventory, Chanma tells Ruashi her talent likely grants her a significant boost in attack speed. He estimates her attack speed bonus to be around 38%, leaving Ruashi amazed at his accurate observation. Chanma critiques her lack of refinement and skill execution and timing, further surprising her with his detailed knowledge. Flashing a slight grin, Chanma turns to leave, but Ruashi calls after him, asking him to wait. A few minutes later, Chanma encounters a group of monsters along his path and effortlessly defeats them one by one. Watching him in action, Ruashi is thoroughly impressed, realizing Chanma is far more formidable than his level suggests. After dispatching the monsters, Chanma informs Ruashi that he is pressing matters in Thunder City and bids her farewell, while she thanks him for his guidance. As Ruashi bows deeply to show her gratitude, her movements inadvertently reveal her jugs, leaving Chanma coughing awkwardly in embarrassment. Suddenly, a deafening crack of thunder erupts across the sky, shattering the stillness. Following the thunder, the sky darkens ominously, and the crescent moon takes on a blood-red hue. A system announcement informs all players in the Thunder City region that a beast tide is approaching in 5 minutes, urging them to prepare. Upon reading the announcement, Ruashi bursts into tears, lamenting her misfortune and fearing the imminent danger. Chanma explains that beast tides are categorized as small, medium, and large, assuring her that Thunder City will only face a small-scale tide and suggesting they find a nearby hiding spot. Scanning the surroundings, Chanma notices something ahead in the forest. Without warning, he grabs Ruashi by the hand and carries her on his back, leaving her utterly baffled. As she processes what just happened, Ruashi shouts at Chanma to explain, and he calmly replies that he is trying to ensure her survival. Wrapping his arms securely around her, Chanma charges through the forest at incredible speed, evading the monsters along the way. His swift movements allow them to slip past the monstrous horde undetected, much to Ruashi's astonishment. Observing his actions, Ruashi remains silent, gradually trusting his intentions to protect her. She then requests Chanma to let her down so they can fight together, but Chanmo refuses, insisting she would only hinder him. Feeling slighted, Ruashi retaliates by tightening her grip around his neck, causing Chanmo to choke and his face to redden. Moments later, they arrive at a small well, and Chanmo sets Ruashi down, urging her to hide inside for safety. Leaving her there, Chanmo prepares to face the beast-tide head-on, his determination unwavering. However, Ruashi teleports in front of Chanmo, blocking his path and stopping him in his tracks. In an impulsive move, she pushes him backward, and they both tumble into the well together. As they fall, Chanmo grows concerned about the depth, fearing they might meet their end at the bottom. Using his arms and legs, he braces against the well's walls, managing to halt their descent. Clinging to Chanmo, Ruashi yells at him to adjust his position, her tone revealing her embarrassment at their awkward situation. Chanmo and Roshi remain completely silent as the howling noises of the passing monster horde echo eerily through the well's walls. In a whisper, Roshi warns Chanmo not to make any noise and to remain completely still to avoid detection. Breaking the silence, Roshi asks for his name, and Chanmo introduces himself. With a serious expression, Roshi demands to know why Chanmo has been helping and guiding her despite them being strangers. Feeling slightly flustered by her sudden stern tone, Chanmo explains that he has been assisting her because he sees real talent in her. Hearing this, Roshi's stern expression softens into a grin as she takes it as a genuine compliment. Glancing upwards, Chanmo silently hopes the beast siege ends soon so he can escape this uncomfortable situation. After a few minutes, Chanmo uses a grappling hook to pull himself and Roshi out of the well with careful precision. As they land near the well's opening, Roshi shouts at Chanmo to avert his gaze, embarrassed by her torn clothes. Feeling equally awkward, Chanmo quickly offers to sew something suitable for her to wear. Using his crafting skills, he makes a simple beast-hide tunic and skirt, handing them to Roshi without looking at her. Snatching the clothes from his hands, Roshi firmly tells him to give her some privacy while she changes. Respecting her request, Chanmo walks away and waits patiently while Roshi changes behind a large rock. A moment later, Roshi steps out wearing the clothes but complains about how short they are, accusing Chanmo of doing it on purpose to annoy her. Flustered by her accusation, Chanmo hastily makes a beast-hide coat, which Roshi accepts while scolding him for not making it earlier. With an irritated expression, Roshi storms off, calling Chanmo a pervert, leaving him dumbfounded and speechless. After several hours of walking, the pair arrive at Thunder City, passing through its massive gates into the bustling urban environment. Chanmo notices a sign pointing toward the auction house, the exact place he has been looking for all along. Learning about his interest in the auction house, Roshi offers to guide Chanmo there, but not before suggesting he buy her a new outfit as compensation. Hearing her suggestion, Chanmo agrees, and Roshi enthusiastically grabs his arm, pulling him toward a nearby clothing shop. Roshi makes it clear that she intends to avoid cheap clothing and will pick whatever suits her fancy. With a reassuring smile, Chanmo promises to pay for whatever outfit she chooses, without hesitation. A short while later, they enter a luxurious shop with high ceilings and an expansive showroom filled with elegant clothing. The woman at the front desk, noticing Roshi's tattered attire, dismissively assumes they are there to waste her time. Picking up a stylish dress, Roshi holds it up and asks Chanmo for his opinion, to which he responds that it looks great on her. The desk woman interrupts to warn Roshi to handle the dress carefully and avoid dirtying the expensive fabric. Spotting the price tag, Roshi realizes the dress costs a staggering 30 gold coins. Nervously, she admits to having only 150 gold coins with her and suggests they look elsewhere, but Chanmo reassures her that he can afford it. Both Roshi and the desk woman are taken aback by Chanmo's casual attitude toward the price. In a hushed tone, Roshi confirms with Chanmo that he understands the dress costs 30 gold coins and not silver, to which he calmly nods. Without further delay, Chanmo retrieves a pouch of gold coins and places it confidently on the counter, leaving the desk woman speechless. Changing her attitude immediately, the woman sweetly offers to show Roshi the newest arrivals in their collection. Minutes later, Roshi emerges wearing a stunning outfit, and the desk woman announces the price as 40 gold coins. Before the transaction is complete, Chanmo inspects the dress and points out several flaws in the fabric, questioning its high cost. With a sharp tone, he asks the woman if she is attempting to overcharge him deliberately. Offended, the desk woman loudly defends her shop's reputation, claiming they have never cheated a customer in 20 years. Matching her tone, Chanmo coldly demands to speak with the shop's manager regarding the matter. Moments later, a well-dressed woman introduces herself as the manager and invites Chanmo to explain the issue. Running his hands over the fabric, Chanmo expertly identifies the material as having an incorrect silk-to-wool ratio and several manufacturing defects. Additionally, he highlights flaws in the dyeing process, exposing the dress as a subpar product. Stunned by his knowledge, the manager asks Chanma how he was able to discern these details so accurately. Roshi, watching in awe, wonders if there is anything Chanma doesn't know. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the manager begins to sweat nervously, understanding that such revelations could ruin her business. Bowing deeply, the manager apologizes profusely to Chanma, blaming a restocking error for the defective product. Roshi interjects, pointing out the desk woman's earlier rudeness and condescending behavior toward them. Without hesitation, the manager slaps the desk woman across the face, reprimanding her for her poor customer service. Bursting into tears, the desk woman tries to apologize, but the manager cuts her off, firing her on the spot. Turning back to Chanma, the manager pleads for his forgiveness and offers him anything in the shop for free, along with a gift as compensation. Accepting the gift, Chanma gives a satisfied smirk, stating he only wanted to point out the issues and had no other intentions. With the freedom to choose anything, Roshi eagerly explores the shop, picking out several outfits she likes. Watching this, the manager is left speechless, realizing how much this generosity might cost her business. Eventually, Chanma and Roshi leave the shop, heading toward the auction house with their shopping complete. Opening the gift from the manager, Chanma finds a pouch containing a generous sum of 300 gold coins. Grabbing Chanma's hand, Roshi happily points out that the auction house is just ahead, leading him onward. The auction house is an impressive structure with grand domes and intricate architecture, shining under a clear, sunlit sky. Chanma is captivated by the building's grandeur, and Roshi, noticing his amazement, recalls being awestruck when she first saw it. Taking Chanma's hand, Roshi leads him up the grand staircase, urging him to follow her inside. They approach the front desk and inquire with the receptionist about the schedule for the next auction and the availability of VIP rooms. Spotting the VIP card in Roshi's possession, the receptionist exclaims at the sight of the prestigious silver card and confirms that one VIP room is still available. Chanma deduces that Roshi likely obtained the silver card through her influential family. At that moment, a group of rugged-looking men arrive, led by the arrogant young Master Wei, who has come specifically for the auction. The receptionist apologizes to Wei and lackeys, informing them that the last available VIP room has already been allocated to Roshi. Disdainfully, Wei dismisses the silver card as worthless and dramatically places 3 gold cards on the desk to assert his superiority. Picking up the gold cards, the receptionist verifies their authenticity and regretfully informs Roshi that her room must now be reassigned to Wei. Roshi protests the decision, but Chanma subtly shakes his head, signaling her to let it go without further argument. Wei and his lackeys leave, laughing arrogantly as they bask in their perceived dominance over Roshi and Chanma. Clenching her fists in frustration, Roshi asks why Chanma stopped her, but he calmly reassures her it's not worth worrying about. With no VIP rooms available, they move to a common area where Roshi sulks, but Chanma confidently promises that Wei will face retribution during the auction. Turning his focus elsewhere, Chanma approaches a table set against the wall, seemingly deep in thought. Chanma snaps his fingers beside the table, instantly materializing a pile of rare herbs and precious ores, leaving Roshi in disbelief. The following day, the grand auction commences, drawing an affluent crowd into a lavish hall, with a charismatic man taking the stage as the auctioneer. The auctioneer introduces the first item, 10 stalks of lanchi grass, and starts the bidding at 2 gold coins. In VIP room 414, Wei participates in the auction remotely, eager to secure the lanchi grass for himself. The auctioneer's hammer falls as Wei wins the 10 stalks of lanchi grass for an inflated price of 15 gold coins. The item is instantly transferred to Wei's room, and although he overpaid, he appears satisfied with his acquisition. Next, the auctioneer reveals another batch of lanchi grass, this time containing 46 stalks, starting at a bid of 4.6 gold coins, sparking widespread interest. The bidding escalates quickly as one participant raises the offer to 50 gold coins. Determined to claim the second batch as well, Wei attempts to bid but is shocked to find himself barred from participating by the seller. The lot is ultimately won by bidder 782, much to Wei's visible irritation and mounting anger. Back in Chanma's room, a small mound of gold appears on the table as he reveals that Wei is bidder 414. He reveals that he imposed restrictions on the second batch, ensuring that Wei's bids were automatically blocked. Amused, Roshi laughs at the thought of Wei's frustration, while Chanma smirks, calling this just an appetizer. In subsequent rounds, Wei faces continuous restrictions, leaving him increasingly enraged as his bids are repeatedly denied. Fuming with frustration, Wei orders his lackeys to locate manager Su and uncover who is orchestrating the sabotage. After an hour of intense bidding, the auctioneer announces the final item, the Soul Rhinoceros Staff, an epic tier weapon with a starting bid of 100 gold coins. Bidding for the staff intensifies rapidly, with offers soaring to 520 gold coins in moments. Fearful of being restricted again, Wei hesitates but remains determined to secure the staff at all costs. To his dismay, the system informs him that, as bidder Wei, he is only allowed to raise bids in increments of 100 gold coins. Overwhelmed with rage, Wei shouts furiously, causing his VIP room to shake as his temper boils over. He destroys the table in front of him and stands trembling with anger, determined to demonstrate his resolve to his unseen adversary. Seething, he places an outrageous bid, vowing revenge, and ultimately wins the staff for an exorbitant 840 gold coins, draining his entire savings. Back in Qianma's room, he calmly calculates his profits, totaling an impressive gain of 2,660 gold coins from his strategic maneuvers. The door to Qianma's room swings open as manager Su enters, accompanied by Wei and his lackeys, their expressions brimming with hostility. Sizing up the intruders, Qianma instantly deduces that Wei has come seeking revenge and readies himself for the confrontation. Approaching Qianma, Wei demands to know if he was the one responsible for imposing the restrictions, to which Qianma coolly admits the truth. Wei's lackeys scoff and berate Qianma, warning him that he clearly doesn't understand who he is dealing with. Unfazed, Qianma retorts with a smirk, declaring that he knows exactly who Wei is, and bluntly calls him a nobody. Enraged by the insult, Wei challenges Qianma to a duel, which Qianma confidently accepts without hesitation. Moments later, the two adversaries step into the bustling streets, positioning themselves for a heated battle. Wei brandishes his epic tier staff, vowing that Qianma will regret ever crossing him. Spectators recognize the staff's immense power, while Wei's lackeys mock Qianma for being 4 levels weaker than their master. Summoning a fiery orb with his staff, Wei prepares to unleash a devastating attack, but Qianma suddenly vanishes from sight. In the blink of an eye, Qianma appears behind Wei, catching him completely off guard. With a swift kick, Qianma sends Wei hurtling through the air, leaving him utterly bewildered by the sheer speed and force of the attack. Guys, we will be back with more. Meanwhile, you can check out this manhwa about an OP protagonist.